What's good, everybody? This is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee. And if you were wondering who this beautiful woman sitting next to me is my sister Tiffany Daniels Sai. Let's give it up for my sister. Everybody can clap. This is good. And my sister she's the most talented person in the family, and we started a family business, a signature scent company. So if you like smoke a lot of weed in your car and you want to get the scent out, you have to check out these scents. I know guys that use it for the weed. I know people that use it for cologne, and everywhere they go to get compliments. We make candles. We make
room sprays. We got them in kits. So if you want to buy something for your loved one or anybody that you care about, hit us up, LorraineCo.com.
And we're going to put the website at the bottom of it. But support this black business, support this black woman, and order, I promise you guys. As a matter of fact, use the word GAUDs and we'll give you 15% off. I just made that up, so if my sister's face looks crazy, don't get mad at her. I'll eat that. But guys, when I tell you this shit is incredible, you really should check this out.
The best scents ever.
LorraineCo.com. And we'll put it at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
Thanks.
What's up? I'm Alexander the GOAT.
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee, and welcome to the GAUDs Show. Make some noise. And shout out, Rocky is not here, my co-host, but Alex is filling in, and Alex is a brilliant guy. So good luck in the interview, Alex. But I had to say that because it's the first time. But in the meantime, let's give it up for some guys that I consider friends, I'm in business with, and just all around good people. Alex, you know how you run into people and you're like, oh, that's a good guy. And you run into some people and you're like, that's a great person. I want to do business with that person. I met Obi Omile from theCut about 2 years ago. Shout out to Obi. Matter of fact, let's do this right. Let's give it up for Obi Omile and EddieTheMogul, my brothers from theCut app. Hey, look, so at home, if you're listening, I want you to know sometimes it's hard for me because I'm actually talking to people that I talk to all day. So it's like I don't know how to do an intro. We've been talking for 3 hours today, and now I gotta go. It's like
we didn't just start conversating.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you guys, Obi, you tell the world what bad day did you have with a barber that made you say, I'm gonna create an app, not go through this no more?
What was the moment where I was
what was the moment where you was like, I need an app?
I mean, it wasn't even that I had such a bad haircut.
Okay.
It was really more of a frustration.
That's what I mean.
What led to this. Because like, I've had bad haircuts before, but you kept it pushing. But like, this was right when I was graduating college. I had moved to Charlotte, North Carolina to start a new job.
Okay.
So I'm in Charlotte.
What was the job, if you don't mind me asking?
I was working as a software engineer at
Oh, man, smart. Y'all see my dog smart. You want working at McDonald's? Let's go. Keep going. Keep going.
Early days.
I did too. That's what
you gotta get it.
It's like a rite of passage or something like that.
Right. So, but no, I was down there working as an engineer, and I'd moved down there. It'd been like a month and a half since I had my last haircut, and so that, as I'm sure everyone knows, is crazy, right? I'm getting my haircut every 2 weeks, so 7 weeks, and that was nuts. But the problem wasn't that there weren't great barbers in Charlotte, right? There are talented barbers everywhere.
Yeah.
The issue was I just didn't find anyone I can trust, and I had no good way to find someone I could trust. I didn't know nobody in the city. I couldn't ask nobody. I didn't really trust Google reviews.
Yeah.
And so like that was when I realized there's got to be a better way to find a barber. And this is around the same time as you saw like many different like apps being born out of Craigslist and people building these marketplaces. And so I said, okay, well, there might be an opportunity here to build something for barbershops. And here we are 9 years later.
First of all, that's brilliant. And the thing I like about it is that the barbershop, for people that don't understand, for black men, is a very personal space. It's almost like our church.
100%.
It's like it's a place where we feel safe. And I say that to say that a lot of people are funny. A lot of men are funny about who touches their hair, where they get their haircut. That's a lot of stuff.
Nobody touch it. And when you find a person you like, you're sticking with them forever.
That is like we focus on our barber more than we focus on our doctor. Right. Like our barber is gonna be known. But what I like that you guys did was that you saw an opportunity to solve a problem that can create a business that will help everyone. And to me, that's the genius part, that only someone like us could have done that, because no one really, you can't get, the culture of barbershop is so different than anything else. It literally is our church. It's like, I can go there. I go to barbershops. I see a dude just sitting around. They just want to sit. They ain't even getting their haircut.
Yeah,
they doing talk sports.
Yeah,
Y'all seen the Cowboys last night?
Space.
It's our safe
it's
space.
It's that third space people can just like hang out. You can connect with the community. You talk to like where you just feel like you can be yourself,
Yeah.
right?
It's the epicenter of culture for the black community.
Yeah. So I just want to, I'm going to let you flex it a little.
All right.
Tell us how many users and how many barbers is on the app, because that's the most, to me, that's the impressive thing.
You want to drop some numbers here?
Let's drop some numbers.
Let's drop some numbers here. Let's see.
Get in your bag, man.
So let's see. A couple of numbers here. 200,000. That's the number of barbers who signed up on theCut.
So you have 200,000 barbers, and this is barbers who you're not charging them to be a barber on there. This is you kind of creating an ecosystem for them, and if they do make a transaction, that's when you guys
Exactly. So we got
Love that.
200,000 barbers around the country for you to choose from.
Got you.
7 million people around the country have chosen to use us to find a barber. We just met somebody in the studio today.
By the way, we in the studio with some very important people, and I'm trying to. This is my bro. I just want to introduce him, and he's like, "Bro, I just got my hair cut this morning with your app."
I mean,
it's like, how crazy is that?
Shout out to God.
Shout out to God. Shout out to God.
So yeah, 7,000, and like the biggest number that we're super excited about that's coming up this summer is 100 million. So that's 100 million appointments booked on our platform since we started. That's fucking nuts.
I'm gonna clap for that. Let's clap for that. 100 million appointments.
That's more than like the population of like cities like Tokyo around the country, like
New York.
So for us, like this summer, please pull up, Ray. We having a block party up in DC. We'll celebrate. It'll be like a big moment for us, like our big coming out party in the city. So please pull up, bro.
I'm coming.
Alex, obviously,
Of course.
And everyone here on the team.
I'm coming. You know, listen, we come and film everything. We just make it happen.
You know what I mean?
So tell us. So Eddie, how did you? Eddie, I'm sorry. Obi, I want to ask you a question. Then I'm gonna get to Eddie. 'Cause I want to ask Eddie how he got involved. But I want to ask you. You are working. Do you come from money?
No.
Okay, so you're working. You don't come from money. Do you know bankers and finance people? Did you know at that time?
Not at that time. Met a couple.
So what made you think you could do it first, and then second, what was your first couple of plans? Like, take us into like young kid trying to figure it out, no real money, but feeling like I can build something that can serve 100 million. Like that's a big ask for someone starting so small. So I just want to know, like, take us there.
I mean, I would say from the earliest days, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? So I always knew, I've seen my uncles who had their own businesses, so it definitely seemed attainable to go out and be an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. But I think when it came specifically to building like theCut, like this software platform, that was coming out of college. And, one of the things, I'm Nigerian. Yep. One of the things that my dad always, not just my dad, Nigerian culture is, if somebody else can do it, why the fuck can't you do it? Like, I love that. And it's like, you should be better than them too at the same time.
Yes.
So like, at that time, I'm seeing like Mark Zuckerberg, I'm seeing like all these great apps that we see today, and it's just one man who said, I'm gonna build this. Yep. And then, here we are. 10 years later. And so that was what gave me the confidence. It's like,
so were you the software engineer? You know how to build?
Yeah, so that was my first job. Like my job as a software engineer brought me to Charlotte, and then I was able to build the prototype. And so by no means
that's so hard, bro.
Yeah, well, you gotta get it.
That's so dope, bro.
Nobody else gonna do it. You gotta do it yourself.
But the reason I say it's dope is because I think a lot of us look at the world wrong. A lot of our people, right? Like, you went to engineering school to get a job. Well, you could go to engineering school. No, I'm just saying, not you. I'm just saying in general. Like, I'm just saying in general, like, people go to school for be an engineer to get an engineering job. Yeah. Software engineer. You went there to build something for yourself. Right. How rewarding is that? Like, I just love that, bro.
And even for me, like to your point, like I got my degree in economics. Like, I wasn't even learning to be a software engineer. I learned afterwards through like YouTube and a bunch of resources.
You taught yourself how to build your own
app. With some help from friends, but mainly a bunch of YouTube. I mean, Stanford and like Harvard are putting up like hour-long courses of how to build apps. Like, there's so much information out there on the internet that people have access to.
On YouTube, just right there.
I mean, it's there. It's 100%. Go watch this.
YouTube need to give you an honorary degree.
I mean, shit, I'll take it.
I got a couple degrees from YouTube. I didn't know they did that.
Bro, there's so much information. There's a wealth of information. To your point, like, I think our culture is like, there's so much information out there. If you spend time watching the right things and consuming the right information,
it change your life. I'm glad you said that. That's so good. So how do you get? So you built the app yourself. You got a team of people. Like, how do you get? Are you working out of a dorm? Are you working out of an apartment?
No. So, all right. Build the first. So, okay. Actually, the whole.
Tell me. I want to hear this because this. Can I tell you? I want to stop you for 20 seconds.
What's up?
Eddie been with you all this time. I've been knowing you all this time, and we never heard this. That's why this is so great.
I know the story, but I want you to say it on the platform.
Okay, final story.
It's time for it to come out.
All right, so like I said, I was in Charlotte, right? This whole experience happens. I'm like, damn, there's gotta be a better way. So I moved back home to DMV from Charlotte. Cool. About a year later, one of my best friends from high school moves back home from LA around the same time. So we're both at home, living with our parents. And so we're trying to figure out what we're about to do next.
Yeah.
Again, we're fortunate we were able to live with our parents, and so we're trying to figure out what we want to do next.
But y'all parents, you are children of immigrants. They don't.
Oh yeah, so both had jobs.
That's like being in jail
exactly.
and having a job. Like they are not. You're not going to a party tonight without having a career, are you? Like what?
Sacrifice.
Exactly. I love that.
Sacrifices.
I love that.
So yeah, we both living at home, trying to figure out what we want to do next. So we were both actually working on 2 separate apps. I was working on like an early version of theCut. He was working on something else.
Okay.
So we're also hoopers.
Okay.
We go to LA Fitness, we play ball, we get our friends, we're excited, we're talking about our 2 apps, we show our friends, we ask them which one they think is better, they choose my app, and here we are 9 years later.
so he jumped on your ride.
Yeah, so they chose my app, so I was able to get him come along and fuck with your boy, and
Smart man.
Greatest decision he ever made. So that's been lit. Last 9 years has been a lot
Greatest
of fun.
decision you ever made. And he was smart to pick it up.
No, for sure.
He was smart to pick it up. Yeah.
Like, he is honestly the best. He probably might be the best engineer on the East Coast. Like he's 100% our secret weapon. But nah, like that was our early days. We decided, cool, to start working on it. So he comes on, he rebuilds what I built. Thank God, because what I built was trash, to be honest. So he rebuilds that, and ever since then, he's been building out our product. We now have grown to our team of about 31. Eddie is part of that team. He leads all of our mainly our integrated marketing efforts. So everything you do, this whole off the top campaign we're going to talk about. So shout out to Eddie for coming in on and bringing.
Appreciate you.
He understands culture. You got to give it to EddieTheMogul.
He
understands culture.
You know
So I'm staying here still. So you start the app. How does it? Because we just had a radio station doing an interview, and you got a superstar. Like, man, can you help me build an app? I mean, there's so many people our color who my brother wants to. I put you on the phone and wants to build an app. But is it hard? Like once you build the app, like how do you get it on the iTunes store? How do you get it? Is that hard? I'm really asking because
people don't know.
It's not like a website where you go to GoDaddy.com.
All of this is like a black box that no one really talks about. Or it all takes a lot of research, right? And to your question, is it hard? No. Is there a process? Yes. And so it's just going through the process. To get your app on the App Store is very simple. You just have to create an account with both Apple and Google respectively, and then you can kind of upload your app once it's built and packaged up. You can upload them up to both app stores, fairly straightforward. Now, building the app, it has gotten a lot easier over the last.
So do you have to go to is there like a website? I'm like, really?
Yeah. So Apple has its own website. It's like appleconnect.com, and you can create a developer account on Apple, and then this allows you to then build apps across Apple's ecosystem and then upload them for people to purchase.
And then for the people at home that are on their phone every day that think this is like a super, super heavy lift. Yeah. Is it heavy?
It takes an email and they ask you for your payment method a month later. But literally just with an email and a business entity.
For sure.
Email and a business entity, you can create a developer account for both Apple and then Google, which will allow you to upload apps to both those platforms.
So if I'm hearing you right, from idea to inception, a month.
No. Well,
that's why I say, because somebody looking at this, they're gonna be thinking.
I'll say this. I convinced my boy to join February, call it 1.
Okay.
And it took him between February and May, so 3 months to build the first version of the app that we released on the Apple App Store. Okay. So it did take him 3 months to build that. Okay. And then while he was building that is when I spent the time building up a database of I think 10,000 barbers, just going through IG, looking up people DM me for appointment, just to building up this database. And then the second we went live on the App Store, then we just DM'd and emailed all these barbers, and that's how we kind of kick-started things from the jump.
Gotcha. This is random, but I just like to shoot an idea at you because I know you're doing very well, and I know that you're going to be you're doing great. But in a minute, business in order to scale, you have to raise. You should have a barbershop fund. You should create something where barbers, almost like a pension fund, but barbers can invest in the app. Reason being is because they're invested now. Now they're telling their clients use the app. You know what I mean? I just think,
we actually already have barbers who are investors.
Fire.
In our early years, I think back in 2018, when, to your point, the money it takes to grow a business, we were trying to figure out how we're going to get financed. And so what we ended up doing is something called, if you guys are familiar with like GoFundMe. And
of course, indeed.
Yeah.
Basically, it's
Start engine and all those things. Yeah.
so the same type of thing, except like in those campaigns when you contribute, it's just you're contributing off the goodwill.
Yeah.
We did an equity crowdfunding, so when you contribute, you actually receive equity in the company.
Yeah.
So we did this back in 2019 or 2018. I think we have like 400, 500 barbers more or less who invested in the company, who are like, to your point, bought in.
Yeah.
And like since then, these guys have been some of our biggest
I'm gonna
advocates.
say because I would love to own equity in this company and push it. It's like it's only
It's
stock in the
something
company that you do
know.
every day.
Exactly.
Right.
Like every barber in America should have stock in this company.
Absolutely.
It's having stock in culture also, because
Yeah,
some of
that's
the
true.
things that we're pushing forward is, and that was one of the things that Obi always mentions, is infusing culture into the app.
Yeah.
So when you were DMing them barbers, right? What was that pitch like? Because I saw on socials at one point you were saying this is the Uber for barbers. So I'm wondering how did you verbalize that?
does
when you
research.
DM them?
In the early like shit, that's
He
a deep
does.
cut. I would say the earliest days, it was literally so like a barber would have in his bio, yo, DM me for appointments. And when I would DM him, I'm like, yo, you don't have to like you can keep your DMs clean and just use this app. It's a little bit easier and it's free. So yeah, it's a little bit. It's an easier way for you to manage these appointments. So like people aren't blowing up your DMs, and then it's free. And that was the easiest sell.
Yeah.
And so that's what built us up like early. And then like what even made it easier is people will always want to do something for you after you do something for them, right? And so
That's true.
When we built our social following early on, our page was like a repost page. And so we would find dope barbers who were creating content, and we would just take that content, share it to our page because we had an audience, and they would be immediately grateful. Like, damn, thank you for shouting us out, throwing us out there, because we obviously drive traffic to them. Yeah. And then once we do that, they would DM us like, yo, thank you so much for shouting us out. I'm like, yeah, no problem.
It's like the academics for barbers.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, we got this app too. Like, you want to check this out? Like, it'd be cool. Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, no problem. No doubt. And
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's dope.
And the thing that I just found out recently that I love is that this app is for obviously the clients. You have 7 million clients
7
using
million
it.
plus, absolutely.
Plus, and you have 200,000 barbers, but it serves as an ecosystem for barbers where they can get paid through the app.
Yep.
They can pay their taxes. I think you even offer health benefits.
Yeah, to your point, like we're trying to create like a place for barbers, right, where they can get everything they need to like build their business, right? Whether it's tax management, accounting prep, like financing, loans. To your point, we've actually started working with some companies to see if we can offer healthcare benefits and even some like financial planning and retirement planning. So like we figure if we can give a barber everything they need to be the best version of themselves, they'll never have to
only
leave
focus
us.
on the skill of being a barber.
What's the best success story you got from somebody that's used your app?
There's so many. So many. I mean, you have a good one up top?
There's too many.
What's one that touched you like right here?
It's actually when I came out here. I could give this one.
I got a couple.
I met a barber. I found him on the app. I was out here for maybe like a week. I was doing something.
You lit,
with
my
Ray.
nigga. Just tell me you lit, bro.
Yeah,
You lit out here, bro. EddieTheMogul is lit, man. He be trying to downplay it, man. Let me tell you something. I met Eddie on a Tuesday. And by Thursday, I was already closing a couple deals. No. Eddie gets busy, bro. Like, so don't humble. I'm gonna let you
that
go
was
ahead.
God.
That's why they call you the Mogul.
Talk about it.
That was God's work. I'm just a servant. But
God's plan. There you go.
I was here for a week. I was doing something with Ray at that time, and I needed a barb. I needed a cut. I think we was going to P's party.
Yeah.
We was going to
Yes,
P's
we was having a
birthday
peak party like a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we was going to that, and I needed a cut. So I found a barber. I went to his crib. He didn't have a shop. He had a crib. So I'm like, well, I trust the app. So I booked him. And the entire time I'm talking to him, he's like, man, you work for the cut? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, that app changed my life. He said I had open heart surgery and I had lost my job, and I was still giving cuts after my surgery, like during my rehab period. He said, so I was able to actually support myself by giving haircuts because I couldn't go back to work. So I would just cut people in between time, and I was able to make over $100,000 just doing that off the app. So he was like, and now he's back at work, so he cuts part-time, but he's like, man, like this app changed my life for the better, because I actually lost my job because of the surgery and everything I was going through, and this is what I had to resort to make some income for myself. So
how does that feel to you? Like,
it's crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. It's crazy.
Because I ain't gonna lie to you. When I hear people tell me, Ray, you said something, it's always
wow.
It's like you're doing God's work, obviously, but it's like that shit gotta
But it's
feel like
to Eddie's point, like that's why it's so hard for me because like there's so many times when barbers will come up to me and tell me it's like, yo, I was doing X, Y, and Z, and then I started using the app, and my life is completely turned around. I can pay for my parents' funeral. I can send my kids to school. I can help feed my family. Like there's so many like emotionally like rich stories that we hear from these barbers, and that's what keeps us going. Like that's the only reason why we're motivated the next day. Because like one, I remember the first time in our like maybe like 2020, maybe even before that 2019, 20, when we really started to realize like we was like part of these barbers' lives. Like it was still when we were 3 or 4 of us back. We were working in like some small little shop back in like Woodbridge, Virginia, and I think we released like a feature update, and we went to lunch. That was like we would go to lunch. We go to lunch, like we're like halfway through lunch, and our phones start blowing up, and we're checking, and we're just getting flooded by emails because I think there was like a slight bug. This is again,
for sure. It's the business. Everybody goes through this.
And so, but at that point, I kid you not, we probably had 2,500, 3,000 people reaching out. Yo, the app isn't working. My livelihood is at stake. Like this is the only way I can feed my family. And we was like, yo, that's crazy. Like all of you guys are dependent on us.
Yeah.
It's like Twitter going down.
That level of importance. We was like, again, we're like 2 years in, 3 years in. It's like, yo, this is the magnitude of that we were not ready for. So yeah, no, that's crazy.
I love that because it's like, you know, obviously y'all my guys. So you know, when we sit around, guys, we don't talk about these kind of stories. We talk about planning and the future. Yeah. But like hearing it is just really dope because it's like you really could have did some selfish shit for yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? You served instead of look to see. I just love that. So let's talk about the off the top.
Yes, sir.
So off the top is a competition, freestyle competition. Now let's just make this known. The reason why I want to talk about this, we're gonna talk about it anyway, is because you could have did something totally different. You could have said, I'm gonna do something for the best lineup, right? It could have been, but you understood the culture of rappers, bars, barbershop. And you understood that. So I want you to tell them about the contest so we can just know.
Absolutely. I mean, like Eddie said before, like the cut is bigger than just barbershops. Like culture, barbering culture is bigger than just cutting hair. Yeah. Like there's so many aspects of barbering culture.
James got a whole shop, a TV show called The Shop.
So like, and music is just so deeply integrated in barbershop culture. And we said, look, what do we want to do this year? We want to really build our brand, but more than that, we want to like build our presence in the community, like really be felt. Like to your point, like shake hands, kiss babies. Like we really want to be in the community. And when you think about like barbers and rappers, there's such a similarity there where it's people who are really trying to go after it. Yeah. And like with the cut, we're giving barbers an opportunity and a platform to showcase their skills and to be the best version of themselves. And we said, how can we do that for rappers and artists? And we said, okay, well, if we put on a competition to allow the best MCs to come out and showcase their...
And we're doing it in barbershops.
I mean, in a barbershop, like...
Create visibility for that shop in the community. Now people know the shop is here.
It's a win-win for everybody involved.
It's a win-win for everybody involved.
And so that was the impetus of Off the Top.
Right.
And now we've done a couple cities.
New York and DMV.
New York and the DMV. What are y'all thoughts? Eddie laugh. I just want your thoughts on it. Like, let's talk about it.
Hey,
no, I'm not. I want Eddie thoughts.
So,
little biased, man.
So they're laughing because I'm smiling. You know, I'm from New York. So I already knew I had a little side bet going on that New York was going to deliver.
A little biased, man.
I'm like, you sure you want to do it in DMV? I don't know no spitters in the DMV, man. I don't know nobody crazy other than Wale, maybe a couple other people.
You got Wale. Hold up.
Yeah, couple other people, you know. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I know New York gonna kill it, and so far New York's definitely killed it.
Definitely. I mean, look, we had some heat come out in DC.
That one girl. Pinky?
Yeah, she was hard.
Yeah, she was dope.
Nonchalant hard, by the way. Sat down like, y'all.
That's when you know you got it. That's when you know you got it.
The beautiful part about it is she came into like the last 10, 20 minutes. Like we was about to like move on to the second round. Yeah. And she
was in the second round.
Yeah, she came through and she marked her territory.
And she killed it. And it was like, all right, now you got to go again. We
can create space for you.
Yeah. Exactly. But the thing that I liked about the contest is the internet has changed a lot of the world, but a lot of the nuances are still there. So when you get to New York, you got the local New Yorkers, right? And it felt like New York. And when you got to DC, it was a DC feeling. It was like a lot of imports that came in,
That is a
and was
fact,
like,
yeah.
I just moved here for the work or whatever, but they still did it. But I just like to see the differences in the people, the politeness.
DC was very polite.
Nigga, DC
was
was
very
so
polite.
polite.
All right, so what you think
Yeah.
about being? What you think about being in Atlanta then? Yeah.
Atlanta is interesting because Atlanta is a lot like DC, where there will be, if 100 guys come to rap, 50 of them, 60 of them are from out of town. They live here, they love it here, but they like transplants to the city and they love it. So I'm hoping, I think Atlanta's gonna do almost in that right under New York, because I think a lot of spitters that move here are gonna come. You gotta remember, New York and DC don't really have music scenes like that. New York kind of lost it.
We lost it, yeah.
But so it's like DC has a couple, like, by the way, shout out to Fat Trail, who
Right.
came in and just
He
gave
killed
us a
it.
freestyle.
Right.
Just gave us a free, like, just gave it one for this.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I went out, but I just feel like Atlanta, I'm just like, listen, guys, we talk shit to each other behind closed doors.
You have to.
And you got to know that those polite people in DC, as soon as it was over, Eddie was like, New York.
Right.
Matter of fact, we driving back tonight. That's how much we love the city.
Yeah, nah, it was
I'm just
different.
hoping that Atlanta shows up. I'm hoping that Atlanta gives us something unique and special. But for me, more importantly, I just want people to know that this is all being done by people who come from their community, who look like them, who care about their community. And every investment you make into this app is another investment back into your community.
That's
right.
Even if it's time, energy, and to me, it's so important because
right.
we got to start changing our conversation as African American people in this country. Like, we got to start speaking life into each other and like seeing each other the way we see others. Right? It's almost like when you know, we from the hood. When you from the hood, you know, it's almost like you want to be somebody.
Right.
Nigga, how dare you want to be somebody? Nigga, you think you better? And it's like, no, I just want more for my life. So I just love that you doing this, and I love that people are investing there. And somebody's gonna get $10,000. We forgot to bring that up. But the one thing I like, I'll say this: everybody who asked, nobody cared about the money.
Yeah.
That's why I loved it. They
Well,
just
the ones
like,
who did, they wanted to spend it with their family.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but even then, they was like. It was like, I'm here to rap. It was almost like
you're
we
right. There was the
gave
pride,
them a
yeah.
moment
Yeah.
to do what they love
That's what I'm saying.
and make money. So for me, it was like nobody said
I'm
they
here for
needed the
something,
bread, but
yeah.
nobody said I'm here for the bread.
Right. They're more
secondary.
there for the opportunity
Yeah.
and for the platform because, again, it's very hard nowadays to create a platform, to get a platform, to get started. So to be able to tie that into the app and our presence, and when you bring in Ray Dan, you bring in Math Hoffa, it just certifies, it puts a stamp on it like, yo, this is a networking opportunity. It's bigger than the money.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
even, and it's dope seeing that even coming out of New York and then the DMV, like all the contestants, they built like group chats and they're all staying in touch, like they're working with each other, trying to iron sharpens iron. So
It's crazy
it's
because
really dope to see.
I always say opportunity is worth more than money sometimes.
Absolutely.
And you know, we always so focus on the money that sometimes you may lose out on an opportunity that you know, that can propel you and can lead to the next opportunity.
We
for you
can't
to
put
make
money in front of serving.
Right.
We just can't. We just can't. It's really kind of our problem. To me, it's our problem in the community is that we kind of grew up feeling like something is owed to us. Like, where the fuck is our 40 makers in the mule? And don't get me wrong, it is, but they ain't trying to pay us. So you can't stay in their mentality. You got to start thinking about, like I said, dog, you could have created something for everybody. You created something for us. Like, you actually created it. So for me, it's like, let me tell you, if he went to, in my opinion, if he went to this same app 10 years ago and went to some white VCs and said, this is what I'm gonna do, everybody would look at you like, what? No, we need everybody on there. We need future cuts, super cuts,
Right.
this cut, and you're
They
like,
still be trying.
Identity
but
crisis.
my point is that, and they can come, but it was like that pride. Black people don't have enough things to be prideful about, and we got to start putting highlights on what we need to be prideful about in our country.
And it's not like it's a detraction. It's actually like a superpower. Like even that is why I think we've been so successful today is that we have built it for our community, right? And in doing so, everyone out there knows this is where you will go to find the barbers you're looking for.
Yep.
And that is what's propelled us forward. It's like there's no confusion about it. Like some of the other apps that have, you know, different types of providers of services or like people that you might not have as much confidence in, they don't seem to have as much like equity
Yeah.
in the average everyday consumer's mind. And so
Yeah.
by focusing specifically on the culture, like that's what we're trying to do, is like to make sure that like the culture knows who we are and what we're about, so that you can.
By the way, I love that because he doesn't have to do this. You got 7 million users, 200,000 barbers. That's a business,
Right.
But we're still like, no, we want people to know
It's bigger than this.
who we are,
bigger
what
than
we
that.
represent, and what we're doing. So, give us the ultimate goal that you have for the cut that you'll feel comfortable speaking about, because Jeff Bezos started off selling books.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
And he's one of the richest men in the world. Like he
Killed
beat
several
Walmart. If
industries
Walmart
in the
knew he was
process.
going to be selling everything, they
Like shit.
probably would have started
Bought
selling
that-
books.
bought that-
Would have built Walmart
Yeah.
books a long time
Like,
ago.
gave
Might have been a play the whole
You can't say
time.
with so
They would've
much.
gave
Yeah.
$1 billion in year 2.
Exactly. So you can't say with so much, but I'm just curious from your standpoint, like, what is the ultimate goal you have for this company?
I mean, I'll say this. At theCut, we want to build the largest platform empowering barbershop culture,
Okay.
right? Today, our focus is purely on building a platform that enables barbers to connect with their customers in a super easy way, whether it's just booking haircuts. In the future, that could be buying products, and really making it easy for a barber to grow their business.
Yeah.
But again, we talked about it before, barbershop culture is more than just haircuts. Music is case in point, the first part of this. That
So
we're
you
doing
go in the
right now.
barbershop, they got sports on the TV and
Right.
music playing in the speakers.
So like,
Fact.
as you can see what we're doing today, we're off the top, that's allowing us to really kind of put our foot in the music industry, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to grow there.
Yep.
So I'd say when you think about the big vision of the cut, I'd say that we want to build the largest platform that empowers barbershop culture, and barbershop culture looks like a lot of different ways, and we're excited to see kind of what that looks like.
Do you think barbershops are going to start expanding the way they? I mean, you see some barbers, the master barbers that like put the stuff on your face, but like, do you see barbershops expanding to being more catered to men? Because women go to salon and they hang out there, but like they getting a lot of shit done.
Right.
Like,
For hours.
blowout. They got to sit under this. Barbershop, we be done in 30 minutes and be sitting around for another 40 just talking.
So the short answer is yes.
Okay.
And one of my managers about to open up a barbershop doing the same thing. And it's like, as you see more men being open to kind of, getting your nails manicured, not even say painted, like nothing too crazy, but just like even just getting your nails kept, right?
Yeah.
Or even more simply facial care. Getting a facial cleanse while getting a haircut, or even like aromatherapy. A lot more barbers are offering services within their shop because that's how you make more money. And like these days, we surveyed our customers like last year. 40% of clients who are booking on our app say that they're interested in like facial care services from their barbers, right?
Aromatherapy.
And so that's the information that's great to put in front of barbers, because now they can help increase their revenue by increasing their service offerings.
I have a hard question.
What's up?
It's a pressure question.
Ooh.
How much should a haircut cost?
How much should it cost?
Because
man.
some
This ain't a hard question.
some
It's
people
easy.
charge 60 for, like, dog, you don't even know. I remember when it was 5 for a lineup, 10 for a cut.
You just say,
remember that
hey,
too.
$100 lineup.
Now it's like $100. So I'm like, what is the
I'll say
right
this.
price
A
to
haircut.
pay for? I'm gonna give me the price for a lineup, a complete haircut with a beard. Like, I want to know what those prices
So
should
I'll
be.
say this.
Okay,
This.
you're more qualified than
Short answer
anybody.
is a haircut should cost whatever a client is willing to pay.
Okay,
Right.
All right.
That's the right answer.
Now I will say, from me,
yeah,
30, 40 is like, reasonable.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. Part of the issue, because this has become a conversation, obviously, that everyone knows
Yes.
about. The issue, I think, was that prices for haircuts were suppressed for far too long. Niggas was paying $5, $10, $15 for haircuts
15
for
15
20
coming in everything,
years.
everything.
And barbers' prices, cost of living is expanding.
Yep.
And then what happened was, pandemic happened, and then everyone needed to make ends meet, and prices jumped.
And you also see how important your barber was during that period.
And then people who didn't deserve to charge 50, 60
You got to see
for a
artists for
haircut
the first time
started, you know what I
without
mean?
the look.
Right.
And so social media, image, a lot of things happened all at once.
Yeah.
Should barbers be paid more than $15 for a haircut? Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Should some barbers be charging $75 for a haircut? Absolutely not.
I think it's more of a regional thing, right? Because so I live in Dallas, as you guys know, right? And it might cost me $65 to get a haircut.
65.
$65.
In Dallas, shit.
But
Yeah,
why
easy.
is that though, right? Because I'm going to a barbershop. First of all, it's a barbershop in the mall. Where else they do that?
Yeah.
Like in the mall. Like
Yeah.
how you go to
Yeah.
Lennox, right next
Yep.
to Zara.
Yep.
Like so, it's that type of environment. But then also, it's very hard to find black barbers in certain areas. I'm in North Dallas. I'm in the suburbs. It's a little bit different compared to when you go to New York. You're going to get a $30 cut, $35 cut because barbershops are on every corner.
You know how I judge it? The lights.
He's looking for that. He's looking for the hexagon, the honeycomb
Big lights, the more they gonna charge.
Yeah, they got the big light
They got the
behind
big
you.
lights in there. Like they got hookah in there. It's $175 for a haircut.
Hey.
The black gloves. Don't forget the black gloves.
At the same time,
black gloves
Black
cost
gloves,
more
for
off
sure.
top.
Exactly.
For sure.
That's
So you got it where barbers can invest in this, right? But you got like everyone remember the thing with Kanye was on Drink Champs and he was like, I was Edward Nigga Hands, like when he was a barber before he got on.
Yeah.
Like Bangladesh, I think Zaytoven,
A lot of
Akeem
people-
Ali, a lot of these artists were barbers before. Is that something you're open to where people in the entertainment industry can invest in that app too?
Absolutely. Like when we start thinking about financing in the future, one thing that's been important to us is making sure we have black money in the cut, right? And so that is something
love
that
that. I
we're
love
looking
that.
forward to in the future. Is like making sure that we can, empower the culture, right? Like there's a lot of money in this culture, and it's like we can go out. Sure, we can go out and raise money from a bunch of traditional financiers, but we just making them richer.
So
Like, it'd be better if we can make us.
so Ross can pull up right now and
Yo, if,
talk
Russ
business.
could- if you really want to try to cut a check, look, we have a
For sure.
conversation.
You can see him doing IG promos now.
It's funny because every conversation I have with Obie, I'm like, we got to get some black money. We got to get some black money. And one of the first steps I think on doing that was connecting with Ray. Because I'm like,
I know a lot of black money that I love to do this, like because it's like it's never going away. Like as a dad, one of my first prideful moments was taking my son to get his
first
haircut.
haircut.
Like,
Absolutely.
and then it's like I got the picture of his first. It's like that's such a moment in our community.
Even at the pandemic, the first thing people did was try to get a haircut.
Yeah,
It's
'cause that's when niggas
you
was
are
nappy.
never not gonna have
That's when
hair
niggas was
growing in your
nappy.
head. You know what I mean? So
Niggas
you
was
wanna always
nappy.
get that cut.
Gray hair.
I got PTSD here.
You know
You
what
talk
I mean?
about
You was on Zoom, so you couldn't have people looking at you. I mean, you had to make sure your shit was tight. So, like, we're never worried. That's one thing that we think our business like recession proof. It's
Yeah,
like
for sure.
haircuts will always be around. It's like how do we service everyone in like the community, both barbers, owners, and clients. And as long as we continue to do that well, it's up.
You talk about money. You was on Forbes 30 under 30. So speak to that. Somebody watching this being like, man,
that's big. Can we clap for that?
Yeah.
That's big.
I would have clapped, but Obi looked like I didn't want to talk about. Obi looked like how you know about that. Like,
I just didn't.
he does his research.
I think people skip over that a little bit too much. So how
Yes.
did you?
Go ahead, Alex. What's your question?
Yeah. Just like if somebody's sitting right now and they're like, man, how do I take my business to be able to put it on a platform like you did?
For sure. Well, I'd say one. Manifestation. I'd say that. I always, as a kid, wanted to be on the Forbes list. I didn't actually know when it was going to happen, and we
Gotcha.
just started building the business.
Gotcha.
Now, from my understanding, I will say this: we didn't apply; you get recommended. And so, like, you build your business, you're in the right rooms, in the right circles, and if the right people know you, then people who are on the list will recommend you to the people who kind of judged on the list. And so that's what happened. Like, we were in a program called TechStars. It's like an accelerator for
How you spell that? How you spell that?
Techstars.
TechStars.
TACH stars.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
TechStars. So we were in our first month or two of TechStars, and I got an email, and it was like, "Hey, we got some questions for you." I didn't think it said Forbes. I didn't believe it at first. I was like, "This is probably some like scam shit." And so we filled out the questionnaire, and then they hit us up like a week later and it's like, "Hey, you made it on the list." And so it was like really about building. But at this point, we'd also already had like 1 million plus users, and we did the equity crowdfunding campaign. We raised about like $100,000 from like again a bunch of barbers, and so there was some noise being made, and we specifically made it on the list for consumer technology. So there's a bunch of different kind of lists, and our list was specifically for like again consumer technology, and someone knows what we were doing and recommended us.
I love that. I love when you hear people talk about manifestation. You were at one point you were manifesting a Tesla. I think in 2014 you was like it's a big. So I'm wondering like,
for sure.
did that happen for you, and when did it happen?
Yes and no. So yes, 100%. I manifested it, and I had the opportunity to go get a Tesla. I decided not to get a Tesla.
What do you currently drive?
German for sure. Shout out to the Germans. Shout out to the Germans. Black man. For sure.
So we have this. So we have a segment we do. We call it credit check. I think it's great for you guys. It's Obi. I hate when people say, "Get that man his flowers."
Fair.
I don't want no flowers, my nigga. Give me my credit.
There you go.
I
Talk
can
about
leverage
it.
that. So we ask people like you guys, like, give us 2 to 3 unsung heroes in the cut company, like that you just feel like deserves a shout out,
Oh,
credit,
word?
please,
The company is crazy.
or just that helped the company,
Well,
that helped the company get to where it is.
Ooh, I'm gonna say because I would say everybody, honestly. Like the cheat answers, I want to say everybody, but
Everybody at the company.
everybody with the company. Yeah, we couldn't be where we are without them. Like it's crazy. Like I mean, Eddie, like they were like, there's
Eddie
so
done
many things that
connected so many dots.
we couldn't be where we are without people on our team. But I'd say what like Eddie won for sure. I'd say the first person we hired outside of kind of like our initial friend group, because like our first 4 hires were people I went to high school with who lived in my neighborhood.
Got you.
So like the first hire outside of that group was one of them because like I think I was like a sign to the outside world of who we were. And then like in DC, we've had so many great mentors or like early kind of supporters who helped us get to where we were. Shout out to Melissa Bradley and Ade who helped introduce me to like some of the CEOs or leading team at Instagram early in our lifestyle. Like shout out to like Ray, not different Ray, but Ray and Mary and the whole team who helped us. Basically, like when we first started, every step of the way, people have made introductions to us that have led to bigger doors being opened. Yeah. And I feel bad because I can't list off every single person here, but it's a network, right? They always say your network is your network.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, the village of people that we've had supporting us today is how we got here. But like Cheat Answer, the people on our team, some of our internal first hires, Eddie, and that's been great.
I love that. So
It's a blessing.
last question is, this show is called The GAUDs Show. Do you consider yourself a GOAT or an underdog? If you consider yourself an underdog, what do you personally want to accomplish to call yourself a GOAT?
Definitely an underdog. What does my personal accomplishment look like to say I'm a GOAT? I would say we have internal goals of like how big we want the company to be. So that would probably be like before I can say I'm a GOAT. If the company gets to some of our internal goals, I won't speak them out in the world, but like if we hit some of our goals in the next couple of years, I'd say that we're definitely
When you hit them.
I'm going to say this to you.
When we
that barber that Eddie ran into, that barbers that run into you, they will all call you the GOAT.
Oh, for sure they do. But like,
Then guess what?
yeah, but it's,
At the GAUDs Show, we are calling you the GOAT.
For
Let's
sure,
call him.
for
Let's
sure.
clap for that. You can't take it from us, bro. You can't take it from us, bro. We
Right.
got to give it to you.
Look, man, like I said, I'm appreciated, but you know.
But so you know, I just want to say this. You know, wrapping up, like, if you watching this, you get your haircut, anything, like, support this. Like, we do a lot of talking about what other cultures do, what other people do, and whatever, how they do right. And to me, the right thing to do is, as soon as you see this, take your phone out, download the app.
Apple, Android.
Even if you just tell your barber, yo, you use, like, we gotta do more of that, because the only reason why black people don't have a lot of power in this country is because we don't have numbers together working collectively.
And here you go, short answer, because I lied to y'all.
Go ahead.
This will make me feel like I'm the GOAT.
Go ahead.
I don't want to see a single person get on Instagram stories, get on Twitter or X, and say I'm looking for a barber, send recommendations. I'll feel like the GOAT when the cut is the first place you go, and no one is ever asking the ether for barber racks.
That makes
And
sense.
the cut is the first.
That nobody say I'm looking for a ride no more.
That is
Right.
the goal. No, that is the
That's
goal.
the goal. That's the goal.
It's like you want the cut to be like how, remember back in the day they would say that's a Kodak moment.
Exactly.
And Kodak was just a camera.
Right.
It was a
Come on,
brand of
Verb.
camera,
It's a
but
brand of cameras.
Kodak became the moment. And you want to be like, just the cut.
Exactly.
The cut. You need just
Just
call
like
the cut.
Kleenex
You
with
want barbers to
tissues,
tell you want
Band-Aids.
barbers to say, yo, like, you good, bro? Yo, just download the cut, man. You can see my record. Like, you want to create that.
That's where we want to get to.
That's
And
what we're
that
gonna do
will
then.
make me the GOAT.
That's what we're gonna do then.
Yeah.
This the GAUDs Show. Shout out to Obi, shout out to Eddie, and shout out to
y'all.
Alex for sitting in for Rocky, and we are out.
Thank y'all so much, man.